Hey guys, how are you? Cindy, I can't find that extra little battery in my camera. I don't know. I probably need to do some research or look at the manual. But what I'm here today to do, oh, and I did find my clear adhesive so that I can try to adhere this lace down. This is my Miss Wigs Misso 303, and I need to do a little trimming. As you can see here, for some reason it has this really long side piece. I'm not sure why. Quality control was not in place that day apparently at Miss Wigs, and then on this side I also have a long piece. So kind of odd, and definitely longer than the rest of the wig. I mean, I don't find anything that long even in the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trim that, and I wanted to show you how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use some hair cutting shears, some professional shears. You don't need professional shears. And I'm going to use a comb. And if you're cutting hair or doing anything with hair, especially cutting, you always want to use the fine end of the comb because it's going to give you the best traction and the most even traction of holding it. If that makes sense. I'm sure I'm not explaining it the way it was explained to me in beauty school, but you know. So anyway, so if you use the wide end, it's going to be looser. You're not going to have as tight of a grip on it. But seeing that this is the front piece, I'm going to go ahead and kind of start from here. And what I did, I parted it down the middle because then it doesn't really matter where you part it. If you part it down the middle and you work on your wigs, unless it has a very, defined side part where you can't change it, then of course you want to cut it to that. But if it's like a lace top like this one, or lace front, then you can go ahead and part it down the middle. That's what I would recommend. Unless of course you're going to wear a very strong side part all the time. But so this is how I talk about taking your shears and walking them down. And that's what I got. And I'm going to check, and it's still too long. So I'm going to go ahead and start again and just make short little cuts as you're walking the hair down, or the shears down the hair. And you can see here how much better it's looking. Now I want to check and see how that's going to blend in here with the sides and the back. How is it going to blend? And that's pretty good. I still want to, that's pretty good. I still want to take a little off of here just to blend those in better. And I think that the wig is going to look a lot better once I get this accomplished. And if you do it like that and do it in small, instead of just trying to chop it off, but you do it in little segments, see how much better that looks? See how it's curling much nicer? So why those sides were that long, I don't know, and then we'll take care of this monstrosity over here. It's just crazy. I mean, look at that. This even has a bigger chunk of really long hair. So now you can use a razor to do this if you want to. That's up to you. But my suggestion is to make sure that the blade is super sharp, because you can kind of shred and fray the fibers, and you don't want to do that. You want a nice clean cut so they don't look like split ends. So again, I'm going to check here and see. This is going to be like my guide, because this really is just long from excuse me, the front forward. Now this is trickier for me because I use shears in my right hand, and so this is how I do it. Like I say, it's a little trickier. It's not as easy to do, but I want the shorter layers in the front and not at the back. So that's why I am kind of contortioning my hand here. And it's more difficult to do it this way. This way it might be easier to use a blade, a sharp blade in a, what is happening here? There. Sharp blade in a razor. Now the one I have is a Paul Mitchell, but I know you can get them at the beauty supplies. You can get them at Sally. Mine is a professional one. It doesn't really matter. They all function the same. And I'm going to check. Check that to see. And there is a little bit here that I still want to take off. It's still a little long right there in the end. And I am pulling this forward, so I'm directing it forward, which will help. When I'm done cutting, it will help to kind of enhance that angle like this. So it's sunny out today and it's definitely warmed up. I have to run out and do some errands, but I wanted to cut this before I go out and just show you how I do it. So just take little pieces off in little small sections. You don't want to get crazy and just start chopping. You want to have a plan. So let's see here. I'm going to measure my sides. So this one is a touch longer. So all you have to do is pull the hair from either side and bring it forward, and you can see here that the side on the left is a touch longer. And with the curls the way they are in this wig, it really isn't going to matter that much, you know, if it's a little bit longer, but I think that's going to look a lot better. And I might even, okay, I'm going to re-part it. I'm going to take these bobby pins out, and I'm going to re-part it because I may want to take that very front section a little shorter, and I'm watching to make sure the stupid camera doesn't turn off. And Cindy, I wish I knew, I don't know, I can't find a little like battery, watch battery type thing in by my memory card. So here I think I'm going to just take this just a little bit shorter. But whatever scissors or shears you use, you want to make sure that they're pretty sharp. And just take your time. Like I say, you don't need to rush it. I just took a little bit off there. Let's see how that falls. I think that's good for now. And I think that definitely, I have a wig cap on, that's why it looks so funny up there. But I think that definitely looks a lot better. I think this is more of what it's supposed to look like. So, you know, your wigs may not always come in perfect. And you may have to do a little tweaking. So if you're not comfortable and you have a hairstylist who is okay with working with wigs, or find a hairstylist who is, you know, go ahead and do that. Another thing I might do, I do this pretty much with all of my haircuts in the salon, is I take this mohawk section, and I don't know that I'm going to take it past the lace. I might just take it to the lace. But what I usually do is I just take a little mohawk section here, and let me tip the camera up because I'll come down a little bit. Yeah, it turned off. And I went through all my settings. I'm like, I wanted to make sure I didn't have a timer or something set on it, and I don't. But you take this, and if you want to, you know, you can twist it, but I usually don't do that. And I'll take this and I'll just, oh, here we go. Okay, I can do that without holding it straight up. Take this, and I just take the ends and just kind of chop into them like that. And what that does is it just gives a little more volume on the top. So we'll just see how that looks. Comb it through. See, it just lightens the ends up just a tad and gives a little more volume. There we go. So here is Miss Wigs Misso 303 with a little haircut to fix the sides. So I think it looks a lot better, and it will look a lot better once I take my wig cap off. And or pull it forward, one or the other. And this is all I trimmed. I didn't have to trim a whole lot, but you know, it is still pretty substantial for a supposedly pre-made and pre-styled wig. But I like it. And I'm going to experiment with the eyelash glue and just glue these little pieces down here because I tend to like to tuck. I just think it looks better. But I really like the curls on this. So, all right, you guys, thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. All right, I'll talk to you soon. And have a little makeup haul I'm going to do right now. Bye.